Hello. Today we're going to learn about a new verb tense that is the past perfect. And we are going to study it in its simple and continuous form. This video will be divided into two parts. In the first part, we're going to learn about the formation rules. And in the second part, we're going to learn about the uses of one or the other verb tense. Very well. Let's start with the past perfect simple. It is very similar to the present perfect simple in its formation rules, but the difference is that we are going to use the auxiliary verb in the past, okay? So, what is the auxiliary verb of the past perfect? In this case, it is had, which is the past of have. And, as you know, it is used for all the pronouns I, you, we, they, and also he, she, it. So it's the only one that we use. And then we add a verb, or the main verb, that has to be in the past participle, okay? Past participle. What is the past participle? Remember, if the verb is regular, we add ed at the end of the verb. And if the verb is irregular, we look for it in the third column, not second, but in the third column of the list of irregular verbs. All right? For example, you have the verb see in infinitive. The second column is saw. And the third column is seen. This is the past participle form of the verb, all right? And with this example, we can invent a sentence. I have seen that film before. Okay? How do you translate it into Spanish? Yo había visto esa película antes. That is the idea. How do we form the negative? Making the negative of the auxiliary verb. I hadn't, and the verb always in past participle. I hadn't seen that film before. How do I form the interrogative? Starting with the auxiliary. Have I seen? Always the verb in past participle. That film before. Okay, so that's all. It's very easy. No, not so difficult. Very good. And what about the past perfect continuous? As we know, a continuous tense has a verb ending in ing. Okay? So, we need three things here. We need the auxiliary verb, which is again had. Then we need a verb in past participle, which is always verb be in past participle, which is been. And then the main verb ending in ing. All right? So, for example, she have been. It is always the same in present perfect, in past perfect continuous. It never changes. She had been working all day. In this case, it doesn't matter if the verb is regular or not because it is always ending in ing. It never changes, okay? So she had been working all day and we translate it as ella había estado trabajando todo el día. If I want to make the negative, she hadn't been working all day. If I want to do the interrogative, have she been working all day? Okay, so that is the end of part 1, the formation rules of past perfect simple and past perfect continuous. To understand the uses, I have drawn a timeline, okay? Here is the present now, and obviously everything that is before that is the past, okay? I have marked any time in the past, for example, yesterday or this morning or last year, never mind. And the past perfect, simple or continuous is everything that happened before a particular moment in the past, okay? So if this is my specific moment in the past, for example, yesterday, and I want to speak about an action that we have done before yesterday, before a particular moment in the past, I use the past simple. Next, we are going to learn the difference between simple and continuous. But first, get the general idea. Past perfect, an action that happened before another action in the past. We always say that past perfect is the past of the past. Okay? There's nothing further in time than past perfect. It's always the past of another action in the past. And if we are speaking about past simple, that is a past action related to the present. But past perfect is a past action related to another action in the past. Do you understand? Do you get it? Okay. So, for example, before yesterday or something that happened before yesterday or before this morning, I could say that, let's see, I had worked before this morning, or I had worked before I came to English classes, or I have finished my book before they gave me the other book. Okay, so something that happened before another action in the past. What is the difference between simple and continuous? The same. Continuous always focuses on the duration of the action. So it is an action that started in the past, and in the moment of the other action in the past, it still continued. Okay? For example, let's suppose that I have two different actions. The action in the past is I worked in my project. And the action that happened before that, I had researched. So, before I worked in my project, I had researched it, or I had done an investigation on it. Before I worked in my project, I had done an investigation, I had researched it. That is the simple past. And if I want to say it in the past perfect continuous, before I worked in my project, I had been doing an investigation, or I had been doing a research. Okay? I hope you understand. Now we have another example. The film had finished when she arrived. What is the action that happened first? She arrived, or the film had finished? Or the film finished? Okay, first the film finished, and then she arrived. So the activity that happened first in time is the activity that goes in past perfect, and the activity that happened later is the activity that goes in past simple. Now there's another example. By the time I got there, it means cuando llegué o en el momento que llegué, everybody had finished their work. Todos habían terminado su trabajo. What happened first? I got there, or they finished their work? Okay, the first activity was that they finished their work. And then I got there. So when I got there, everything was over. Now we have an example with past perfect continuous. By 2 a.m., and we have the specific moment in the past, by 2 a.m. he had been driving for more than 12 hours non-stop without stopping. Yes? So in this example we use the continuous tense because this activity was still happening in that moment in the past, or the activity had results in that moment in the past. And finally, we have another example using the past perfect continuous. She was tired because she had been studying all night. Again, we focus on specific moment in the past and the duration of that action. And this happened before that moment in the past, okay? That is why we use the continuous. Ella había estado estudiando toda la noche. The duration of the action is the most important thing. Okay, and finally, we are going to see some words or phrases that are usually associated with these verb tenses and gives us the idea of what happened first and what happened next. Okay, so first we're going to study before or by the time, that they are very similar. Look at this example. She had completed her work before I arrived. Or the same sentence. Before I arrived, she had completed her work. It is exactly the same idea. What happened first? I arrived or they finished or they completed? They completed the work first. So the action that happens first is always in the past perfect. And the action that happened later is always in the past simple. No matter the position of the actions in the sentence, but the most important thing is the sense we give to the sentence. And here we have an example with the same ideas, but it's another sentence, and we use by the time. By the time we got there, the play had finished. Para cuando llegamos ahí, la obra había terminado. What happens first, or what happened first? We got there, or the play finished. Okay, the first action was that the play finished, and then we got there. And also we can use after. Obviously, after is the opposite to these two. After they had gone home, I cleaned the mess. The same sentence, I cleaned the mess after they had gone home. What happened first? I cleaned or they went home? The first action is that they went home. And after that, I cleaned. Okay, I hope you understand, and we'll be doing some extra works and activity with these verb tenses. They are not so difficult, I think. Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.